Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, children of the night. What the fuck am I doing with my life here? Welcome back, children of the night, to another episode of the Infernal Archive. On this episode, we're watching the 2017 Canadian film, Radius. Andrew,
Yes.
could you regale us with the Wikipedia blurb of doom from the scroll of ineptitude?
So Radius is a 2017 Canadian science fiction thriller film directed and written by Caroline, French name, and Steve Leonard. A man wakes up with no memory of who he is and finds that everyone who comes within a certain distance of him suddenly dies.
Truly terrifying.
Existential dread.
Yeah, that is... I think, what did we say when we were reading all the movies? It was like a fucked up Midas touch or whatever. Like,
yeah, big
I
time.
guess the Midas touch is fucked up, but it's. I guess the Midas touch also kills people, but it's like it's like
It's less
the Midas touch on
horrible.
crack, kind of.
Yeah.
Like it's like you really can't. You can't even get near people. That's awful. Reading a little bit about the movie, a couple of little fun blurbs. They were inspired by the 2003 Korean film Old Boy. If you've seen that.
Oh yeah.
Really, really good movie. Interested to see how that inspiration plays out because Old Boy doesn't sound anything like this movie. It was all shot in Manitoba, which is cool. And I was reading that apparently it's very obvious that it's Manitoba. Like, it's set in Connecticut, but it's like people are like, you would never mistake this for Connecticut if you're from Connecticut or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that I thought was interesting because it's interesting the ways people shoot movies, but apparently the whole movie was shot like chronologically.
Oh, interesting.
Which is like, if you shoot stuff and you do projects, if you can, it is awesome because it's like nothing gets confused. All your emotional highs and lows, they make sense or whatever. You don't need to like be angry one day and then the next day you're before you were angry, so you couldn't whatever. Anyways, I like productions that I know were shot chronologically. I always think are interesting because you get to watch the actor know the character in real time.
I think if you're able to do that and optimize your shooting, I think that's the optimal way that everyone would prefer. But it just often production just doesn't allow for that.
Totally,
So,
yeah. Nature of locations and stuff, just
Yeah.
very rarely. But cool little tidbit anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go check out Radius, and we will come back and give you our thoughts when it's done.
Think some of this might come. Be one of us.
And welcome back, children of the night. We just finished watching Radius from 2017, and man, oh man, did this film start off really strong.
So strong.
What'd you think, Andrew?
Yeah, started off really strong. I mean, we found out as we were like watching the opening credits, we were like, oh, we got to better look up the budget because this is impressive in Canadian.
And
$15,000 budget.
You may not have seen I'm not sure when our Clown of Cornfield video would probably come out quite a while ago, but in the Cosmos, we pre-filmed some of these things. So anyways, we saw Clown of Cornfield not too long ago, and we were talking about how the only thing that makes that movie kind of not totally throwaway is the fact that it was made for $1 million or whatever. But then you see a movie like this, which is made for
Reportedly $15,000.
and it's like, ooh, Clown of Cornfield feels way less impressive in that regard.
We all know home ec is a joke, no offense. It's just like everyone takes his class to get an A. It's bullshit, and I'm sorry. And I'm not putting down your profession, but it's just the way I feel.
Yeah, the wheels, like, honestly, like the first half to 2/3 of this film, I was so on board. And then concept-wise, things kind of went away from the existential dread kind of horrific angle they were going for and into the, like, almost drama-y kind of...
Like soap opera drama,
yeah.
like a procedural hospital, like not about the hospital, but it felt like a hospital procedural, like that level, like a Grey's Anatomy level.
Once
of
once her husband was involved, like, it was, there's like the third party. It's like almost like a love triangle thing going on, and I don't know. It just it kind of like lost me at the end.
Me totally.
Technically throughout the film, I would say it was very consistent.
Totally.
Especially given the budget, like better than most of the other similar budgeted or low budget films we've seen.
100%, like
technical wise.
Yeah, on a technical level, it blows all the, like the pig pens we were talking about before, and Found is the other one.
Yeah,
it blows those out of the water in a technical sense. But it is crazy how if you have a banger idea, it will make up for a ton of shit that is lacking. Because, the issue with this film was it starts out, and we read the premise at the beginning. It's a guy who just wakes up in his, I think he's in his vehicle, and he just was in an accident, and he has amnesia. And every living thing, except for plants, but animals and people, every living thing he approaches within a 50-foot radius of him dies, just drops dead, and their eyes go milky white, and it's really whatever. And so the beginning of the movie is fascinating because you're like, how is he going to figure out that it's him doing this?
Yeah.
How long is it going to take? What do you do once you do figure out it's you? Like, how do you adjust? Like, what, all this stuff. And
super believable too at the beginning, where like he thinks it's gas. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, there's poison gas. So he's like walking around covering his mouth to make sure he doesn't succumb to the gas that's killing everyone else, I guess. But like you said, like, what do you do when you discover that you have this weird Midas touch-esque thing going on?
Totally. And it's like very intriguing premise. And I think for the first like over half the movie, it mostly like does what you want the movie to do. It's like we've presented you with this interesting question, and now what is this character going to do? And he's doing everything like that. The whole plot is in service to this thesis. We bring this up all the time, but in the I feel like in horror movies it's very important. It's like you need a thesis at the beginning of your movie. This is what my movie's about, and then you can have surprises and shocks and all that kind of stuff. But it needs to feel like it's a part of this movie, and it makes sense in this world. Whereas this movie was like, okay, we're this movie about a guy who magically kills people from 50 feet away and he doesn't know why. That's terrifying. Now it's a drama about a serial killer who kidnaps women, and there's a husband-love triangle, and
Yeah,
like
I think we can spoil this one because like I wouldn't really recommend anyone watch this.
No.
Honestly,
I mean,
unfortunately, but
if you were a filmmaker who wanted to see what you could do with $15,000, that
yeah,
definitely watch it because you like look at what you can accomplish. But
like our wheels are turning already, having seen it. Just it's inspiring when you can see they made it go this far. But yeah, like we're the whole at the beginning of the film, both of us suspect, how are they gonna, where are they gonna go with this? What's the ending gonna be? How are they gonna explain? Are they gonna explain this phenomenon that created this weird death radius and the female character that is sort of a love interest that is like his neutralizing force? Like, how are they going to explain this weird relationship? And then they go to this cabin, and in addition to the reveal that he's a serial killer who killed her twin sister.
Well, yeah, there's a twin sister.
Yeah, that's the other thing, the twin sister, which is where they started going off the rails.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, the reveal of him being a serial killer, she finds this thing underneath the fireplace in this hunting shack, and it's like a literal journal that he wrote about after each kill. It's like a missing poster.
Yeah.
And then like, I love the feeling of them dying by my hand in like cursive writing in this like diary. It was like the lamest thing ever.
The serial killer who most wants to get caught. Like no attempt at fucking.
Like it wasn't cool Dexter like blood slides in a box or like.
Yeah.
It's like, dear diary, today I killed another one. Like, oh, okay.
I
guess.
Felt, I want to compare, because I always bring this movie up because I think it's a phenomenal example of like original, pretty low but independent horror, whatever. But It Follows Me is like a phenomenal example of a movie that has a really simple premise, and the film just like the whole movie is in service to the premise, and they divvy information out at this great point. They never ruin the mystery, they never ruin the surprise. They just to me a fantastic horror movie beginning to end. Whereas like, what do you call it when things like a thing has immersive properties? It has properties that result from a thing, like they're emergent properties. Whereas It Follows feel like all the plot points and all the drama and the interpersonal stuff that happens in the movie is a result of emergent properties of the initial premise. So like all the things that happen are like, because of this situation, these things are happening. Whereas this film is like, it doesn't have emergent properties. At the beginning it does, where it's like, this is the situation, so now this man is behaving in this way because of this situation. This movie's like, there's a whole bunch of fucking baggage from before the movie started.
And then left turn.
Yeah, and then it's like, and then now we're gonna fixate on all this stuff that was stuff from before the movie started that we don't care about and isn't the basic premise of the film. And it over-explains a little bit too. They give you this weird scene when lightning comes from the sun and strikes him, and they don't tell you like how it works that he becomes this killing radius thing. But it was like, did I really need to see the lightning from the sun? Like,
no, it didn't really add anything.
No, but it's like,
the effects were cool. Visually, it was impressive. They did the thing they did for
Yeah.
the budget they had, but it didn't really add to the story. If anything, it kind of took away from things a little bit.
It made it like too weird, almost too weird at this point. Like
Yeah.
you've now. It seems a little silly because it's a lightning bolt from the sun.
It feels like the whole plot with him as the serial killer and her and like them not knowing, not remembering, because the whole thing is the amnesia. We slowly get the bits and pieces and like how are these two connected, and
which in a lot of media feels lazy, but in this I really liked. I really liked that it's like
Right
not
up
only
until
are
a
you in
point,
this nightmare
yeah.
scenario, but you don't even remember how you got here, who you are, none of
Yeah.
this stuff. So it's double like scary in that sense.
it was just the payoff that was the problem, and it feels like they were. Rather, like you said, the whole point of it being in service to the greater thing, it feels like because of where it ended, they were just shoehorning that in there.
Yep.
Because we liked Old Boy and we want to like shoehorn some of that like past
100%.
flashback stuff in there.
Yeah, Old Boy is an interesting example because once again, that's a film that, unlike It Follows, like the plot, the stuff that happens in the plot aren't emergent of the there's a ton of backstory to Old Boy, and that's the point of the movie. It's like you don't get what's going on until you get the backstory, and that's like, oh, this is so whatever, and it's this satisfying circle. But I think because the lightning bolt from the sun that turns him into a death machine is such a random occurrence, it's not motivated by anything. Nothing.
No.
In Old Boy, he's trapped because of all the stuff from the past.
Yes.
Like it's all one big nice circle that all feeds into each other. Whereas this movie's like, random thing turns you into a death machine, and then that's going to be the plot for the first half. But then it's going to be pretty irrelevant to the plot, and it's just like a thing an annoyance you sort of have to deal with.
And then it just ends with him fucking blowing his brains out in the hospital. Like that's the ending, the payoff that we waited for.
Super.
He went through this whole thing to just kill him. Like that's what we waited this whole time
Totally.
for.
And not to
Super
say that
unsatisfying.
Yeah, totally. Like, and not to say that ending couldn't have worked had you done all this effort to like him coming to the conclusion, and like it's all like he's struggling with it, and he's like, and then finally does it. But it's like it actually feels so fucking random because they've been effectively navigating it to a degree. Like obviously there's been little hiccups, but then right at the end, she's like getting wheeled away in a hospital cart, bed or whatever.
Gurney, yeah.
And then it's like the doctor says to him like, "Oh, you can't come through here." It's like, yeah, but you could. Like you can just run up there, like whatever. And instead of like just following her on the gurney because the doctor told him no, he fucking shoots himself. It just,
I mean, they do.
Unnecessary.
I think they kind of hinted that his plan was to go there and kill himself to save her. I think was the whole.
like
kind
in
of
the
ending.
hospital.
Yeah.
He wanted to.
I
That
think-
also was really weird. It was
seems, he make sure she's okay and then kill himself.
Yeah.
Make sure she's.
Well,
gonna
it's
get
like,
help, but
yeah.
It's silly. It doesn't really. It's subtle difference. But
It felt like, or maybe like if there was subtle differences in the way that it was shot or something, it could have
Yeah.
helped. So, I don't know.
This is what? This is boring.
It just sucks. It's a fascinating premise, and I really was engaged, like we said, probably for the first half of it, and then it just.
yeah.
There's a scene when they go to a hospital to like he gets a CT scan because he's like, well, maybe there's something physically wrong with me, and then he gets the information that it's like, no, there's nothing physically wrong with you. You're totally normal. And up until that scene, I'm like, oh, this is good. I like how they're divvying out information. I like that they're doing the things that I would do maybe if I was in that scenario. And then after that, it's like, oh, now this film is off to the right. There's nothing. I don't know why you're doing the things you're doing.
It felt like almost two different films that were like very loosely connected by
But-
that one thread.
It feels very much like they had the plot worked out up until this point, and then it's like, oh, but we need a feature film runtime. Just write stuff that happens in a movie. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I guess
Yeah.
now it's a weird drama about a murderer.
And so, like, for that reason, I think we said like a 9 out of 13, which is like a 60% ish.
yeah,
Just
69,
shy.
just over under 70%.
Yeah.
Because I think we wanted to. It's not a bad film, but it's also not a movie I'd ever recommend to anybody.
Yeah.
So-
It's definitely, certainly as filmmakers, we have to give props to and be impressed by a creative team pulling something of this magnitude off for such a modest budget.
Totally, yeah.
So it gets a bump, I think, for that fact alone.
Yeah.
I mean, Rotten Tomatoes basically agreed with us. 93% critic score, which is always, I think, out of whack.
So
and
weird.
then a 60% audience score, which
Closer
for
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's
Select
time
the
to pull out
next-
the wheel and select the film for the next episode.
Do we have the pointer somewhere? The
Oh,
obelisk
yes.
of doom?
yeah. Yeah. Okay, pointer and ghouls in the background. If you could tell me what film it lands on, because I can't see shit from here. Okay, and we're spinning, and we're spinning, and we're spinning, and we're spinning, and we let go.
The Shrine 2010.
Ooh, baby.
Our other Canadian film, if I recall. So, The Shrine is a 2010 Canadian supernatural horror film produced by Brook Street Pictures. The film was directed by John Knotts. Two female journalists and a photographer travel to Europe to investigate a series of mysterious disappearances, only to find themselves embroiled in a struggle against a kind of evil they never expected.
It's always the evil that you don't expect that gets you. Every time. Thanks so much for watching this episode of the Infernal Archive, ladies and gentlemen, and we will catch you next time when we watch The Shrine from 2010.